Hey guys, another video for our Pilots in Japan playlist. First of all, a bit of an explanation. This video is from our recent flight, return flight to Shizuoka from Nagoya. This video was taken by the guy in the right seat there who set up his GoPro behind us. He later edited this video, which is why it has some writing comes up on the screen describing various things that are happening. He also had some background music that he added that I've removed. So the thing that I'm about to show you has only happened to me. I've been flying for 38 years, about 38 years, and in that time this has only happened to me twice. This is the second time it's happened. Last time it happened to me was about probably 30 years ago, so it's pretty rare. So just a bit of background. What's happening here is we prepared to taxi. We got permission to taxi. We taxied over to the runway, and then it was pretty busy this day. There was a lot of commercial aircraft, big aircraft taking off and landing. There's a lot of commercial aircraft, Fuji Dream Airlines. There was also Air Force. There was also helicopter. It was a really busy day. So they managed to slot us in between a bunch of big aircraft coming and going and sent us out onto the runway. And we expected we'd have to wait a couple of minutes for wake turbulence, which is pretty normal after a big aircraft. So they said, line up and wait. So we went out on the runway and we waited, and then nothing happened. And it was just odd. We were sitting there for a few minutes and nothing happened. And everyone's waiting to take off, and we'd been sitting there more than a couple of minutes. And I looked up at the tower, and there was a red light flashing at us. Right now, red light flashing from the tower means go away. So if you're on the ground, you should get off the runway. If you're in the air, you should not land. So I've only seen it twice, and once was 30 years ago or something. And the guy in the right seat had never seen it. So I was sitting there trying to talk to the tower, and the radio had been working perfectly right up until we lined up. And apparently we found out later that there's two radios in there, and one of them had overheated and stopped working. So we couldn't work out why, that we hadn't been told to take off. So we tried calling the tower, nothing happened. Then we noticed the red light flashing. So he said, the guy in the right seat said, "What's that mean?" I said, "We got to go." So we taxied off the runway. We changed radios. There's two radios in there. We switched over to the other one. It was working fine. So after that, they allowed us to get back on the runway. After a bit more waiting, we went back on the runway, and then we were cleared to take off, and off we went. So it was just sort of interesting because that light system is from like World War II era, before. So it's a really old system. That's what they used to use before radio. They used to flash lights at pilots to tell them to take off or land or not take off or not land or whatever. So it's interesting that with all the technology we've got now, it's still the backup system that they use. So anyway, that was that. More of interest to pilots than anybody else probably, but getting told to go away by the ATC. Anyway, that was that. More videos coming soon.